Shabbat Shalom, Good Shabbos, everyone. One small thought from this week's Parsha. We list the kosher animals in the second half of the Parsha. All the kosher animals, all the non-kosher animals. And then there's an interesting verse that is very difficult to understand, because on the first glance it's repetitive. It says, do not eat these non-kosher animals, v'lo tatameu, and do not make impure. And there's really no way to translate the word tamei, because in English you have the word pure, and the opposite of that, you put the prefix im in front, which means not. So impure means not pure, pure means pure. But in Hebrew, we don't say that. We say tahor, which means pure, and tamei, which does not mean impure. It just means something that's not the antithesis of pure. And I'm going to leave that a little blank for a second, and we'll get to that in the end. And so the pasuk says, "V'lo titameu et nafshotechem," and you won't make your souls or yourselves impure with eating these non-kosher things. You Jewish people, you Jews. "V'lo nitmeitem bam," and then it says the word in the passive nifal conjugation, which means, and then you won't become impure in them. So one more time. And then you will not make impure yourselves, and then you won't become impure in them. So first of all, it's redundant. That's the first catch. The second thing is, if you look closely, and this is in the last aliyah of this week's parsha, if you look closely at the second word when it spells impure, it's missing a letter. Usually the shoresh of impure in the Torah is tet mem aleph, but here an aleph is missing, and it's very, very interesting. Not every ktiv chaser, lacking spelling, that's the category called ktiv chaser, is as rare as this one. In fact, I think this might be the rarest one. So what's going on here? So the Medrash says that there's a different way to read the word because the aleph is missing. That you don't have to read it v'nitmeitem, al tikre v'nitmeitem, ella v'nitamtem. And then you have a completely different shoresh if you read it differently. And that's why the vowels are not written in the Torah, so that we can have these double meanings and double insights, double entendre, if you will. So what does v'nitamtem mean? And the Medrash says you could read it a little bit differently because the aleph is missing. It means you will not become naive, dull, stupid, basically. It comes from the word tumtum, which means idiot, meaning there's some kind of spiritual dulling that occurs when a Jew engages in non-kosher food. How many cheeseburgers before it's just so apparent to the Jew that God, Hashem, does not exist? We have to fight that with kosher food. When we eat kosher food, we put spiritual energy, good energy into our bodies, and that affects our souls. Maybe we're going to have a really good rest of the year after Passover, and may we all continue eating kosher food, and may it increase our souls' awareness of Hashem. I love you all. See you on the other side.